Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my most anticipated movies of the year, A Wrinkle in Time. This was a movie that I've been looking forward to since I heard they were making it. A Wrinkle in Time was one of my absolute favorite books growing up. Now I will say I have not read it since I was a kid, probably. I did recently buy it and never got around to reading it before the movie, which I had planned to do. So I can't say with 100% certainty how accurate it was to the book. However, I remember enough about the book that I can tell you that it wasn't as accurate as I wanted it to be. That is not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because I actually did enjoy this movie. It may not have been as accurate to the book as I would have liked, but they did enough with it that I actually did enjoy it, despite how hesitant I was going in, because up until about a week ago, I was really looking forward to this movie. I've been so excited for this movie that I actually did a trailer reaction back last year, almost towards the beginning of my channel. And the excitement that I had in that reaction is pretty much the excitement level that I've been at up until the reviews started coming in. And then I started to get worried because, like I said, this was one of my favorite books as a kid. So I really wanted the movie to be faithful. And I know most movies are not. So I knew that I was not necessarily going to get a perfect film, but I really wanted them to get it close enough that I wouldn't notice. I wanted them to hit the main story beats. And for the most part, I think they did. However, there were some significant changes that I couldn't ignore, and it brought it down a little bit. I think the best way for me to talk about this movie is using my rating system, how I'm planning to rate it. So the 5 areas that I've chosen to rate A Wrinkle in Time on are the writing, the acting, the aesthetic, the faithfulness from novel to screen, and the rewatchability. A lot of those I use on most movies, though I haven't yet done one where I've read the book beforehand. So that one I felt was kind of important because this is an important book to me. So for the writing, I gave it a 4. I really liked what they did with the story. There were some things that weren't perfect, so I could not give it a perfect score, but I thought it was good enough that it deserved a 4. The acting, same. For the most part, I really liked all the actors. Everyone did a really good job. Some people did a great job. One person did an okay job. And I'm not I'm not going to trash the kid. The kid who played Charles Wallace, he was good, but he was not perfect. Everybody else was fine. I really liked Storm Reed. I thought she did an amazing job. The kid who played Calvin, I don't know if I ever heard his name. He was fine. I don't feel he had a whole lot to do in the movie. He just seemed like he was kind of along for the adventure. And I feel like he might have played a bigger role in the book, but that's a topic for another area of discussion. The actors who played their parents, Chris Pine and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. I just know it. Gugu Mbatha-Raw. I almost hate saying her name because I'm afraid I'm just butchering it, but she was great. I also saw her last month in the Cloverfield Paradox, and I don't think I'd seen her in anything before these, so she's kind of becoming someone I'm going to be watching out for because I really liked her in both of these movies. I thought she did an amazing job. The actors who played all the misses, they were great. I think I might have gotten confused when I saw the trailer because I guess I was under the impression that Oprah was playing Mrs. Whatsit, and I was mildly disappointed that she wasn't because I really wanted Oprah to be the one that was saying all the crazy things instead of being like the wise leader. For some reason, I guess I thought Reese Witherspoon was going to be the leader. I guess that was miscommunicated in the trailer. I really thought Oprah was going to be the crazy one. Anyway, it was fun. I really liked Reese Witherspoon as Mrs. Whatsit, and Oprah did a really good job as Mrs. Witch. And I really liked Mindy Kaling as Mrs. Who. They were all basically perfect casting. And then aesthetic, I gave it a 5 because people can argue against computer graphics all day. I really don't care because I think it looks beautiful, even though it does not look real. It's basically hyper realistic animation. It's an amazing looking movie. Now, as for faithfulness from novel to screen, this is where the bulk of the points get dropped because I don't want to say it was entirely unfaithful to the novel, but it took the basic premise of the novel and hit the major story beats, which is important, but they took out enough stuff that it had to drop the score. I gave it a 2.5 because they took out two main characters. They're not like super essential to the story, but Meg and Charles Wallace have twin brothers, and they just don't in this movie. And I know they're not important to this story, but they are in future stories. There's like a whole book written around them. And I'm assuming Disney wants this to be a new franchise. I don't know if they'll get their wish because I don't know quite how good it's doing at the box office. But assuming that they want this to be a new franchise, why would they take out two characters who are the main characters of one of the books coming down the line? It didn't affect the movie very much. It really didn't. It just really bugged me that they would completely remove two characters like that. Another big change that is not that big of change, when they were on Uriel, Mrs. Whatsit turned into what the internet has deemed a giant piece of lettuce. And I'm not going to disagree with that description. It did not look bad at all. However, in that scene, I'm fairly certain that she was supposed to be a giant centaur. And not even a centaur. It was something really alien. I think it had wings instead of arms. It's something that it gave me such a really weird and fantastic picture in my imagination as a kid. And I have really wanted to see that on screen. And it's just never been captured. So I was very mildly disappointed that she turned into this giant green leaf creature instead. And it did not look bad. She looked fine. I really liked the look of the character. I really wanted to see that centaur alien thing. And she didn't turn into it. It's fine. It's just a minor nitpick. However, the most egregious change, the one that makes me almost want to take off the extra half point and drop it down to a 2. They took out one of my favorite characters. I love the character of Aunt Beast. If you follow my blog, you will have seen the very, very, very short story that I wrote that had been inspired by that scene. I love the idea of an alien that looks so horrible. So something so incredibly alien and terrifying to look at. But it is one of the most pure and loving creatures in the universe. And I am just so disappointed that they took Aunt Beast out of this movie. You know what? I am taking off that extra half point. This movie was good, but I want Aunt Beast. I'm taking off the half point. It gets a 2. I'm going to redo my score here. I'm going to recalculate, because my original score, I'm just going to say, my rewatchability score was 5, because I would watch this movie again in a heartbeat. I loved it. Even with its flaws, I loved it. So my original score was 4.1, which gives it a very low A. So I don't know if this is going to affect it or not, but I'm just going to see. Oh, duh. No. It just takes it down to a 4, which is still a low A, but an even lower A than before. Yeah. It's a 2. I'm so disappointed that they took out Aunt Beast because I loved that scene. I guess she was in there very briefly because when they're at the happy medium, I loved the happy medium. Zach Galifianakis was great. He's just great. I loved that scene. But they had a weird little scene where he's like looking out into the universe looking for their father, and he's like tracing his path through the planets, and he's like, oh, there's Aunt Beast. I guess, I mean, I'm glad that she got 1 second of screen time, but it still annoys me that they took her out of that really important scene. And I guess the way they did it, the way they did the end, it works without her. But that was one of my absolute favorite scenes in the book, and I was so looking forward to seeing that on screen that I'm just really disappointed that it got taken out. I guess other than that, I don't have any huge nitpicks. There's a whole lot of deeper themes in the book that I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know what they are because it's been so long since I've read the book. But I know there was a lot of religious and political undertones to a lot of scenes, and that is not in the movie. I guess I didn't see those very clearly when I was a kid, so it didn't really bother me as much that they were gone. I do this with pretty much everything. You enjoy the book on its own, you can enjoy the movie on its own. Despite the many flaws of this movie, I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I thought it looked amazing. I thought almost everyone was perfectly cast. Unless you're a huge stickler for everything being exactly like the book, I would hope that you would enjoy this movie because despite its flaws, it's still really good. I really enjoyed it. Okay, I think that's all for now. I may start doing more movie reviews because I actually finally got a movie pass. They gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. It was only like seven or eight something a month, so all I have to do is watch one movie a month and it's paid for. And I'm probably going to watch more than one movie a month. I'm tentatively planning to go see another one in a few days. Either way, there'll be more movie reviews coming in the near future, so I'll see you then. Bye.